When liberals talk about authoritarianism, they usually mean communism or fascism as if they're the same thing. That's wrong, and it's dangerous to the working class. Authority under capitalism is already authoritarian. It hides behind contracts, markets, and uniforms. The U.S. state, corporations, landlords, banks, and private contractors exercise coercive power every day, controlling healthcare, housing, energy, and other basic resources. This authority isn't abstract. It kills, punishes, and exploits millions quietly and globally. Authority should only be feared when it kills indiscriminately, acts against people's material interests, or allows resources that should serve the public good to be privatized. Yet commentators often assume leftists want violence while ignoring the quiet mass death caused by capitalism. People dying from lack of health care, food, shelter, and other necessities, or the bombs dropped overseas in the name of empire and profit. Lenin made this clear a long time ago. The ruling classes never voluntarily relinquish power, and the proletariat cannot take over the state and maintain the old order. The old authorities must be smashed, the state must be restructured. The working class cannot simply ask the ruling class to give up power. Authority is inevitable whenever people organize to defend themselves. The real question is, whose authority will shape society, the ruling class or the people? Today in the U.S., authority is everywhere. Police enforce the property and profit of the wealthy. Landlords, banks, and insurance companies control access to housing and healthcare. ICE and the prison system terrorize marginalized communities. Millions die every year from lack of access to basic needs, and yet commentators call leftist organizers authoritarian for creating unions, tenant unions, mutual aid networks, and community defense projects. These are modern forms of revolutionary authority, defensive, functional, and necessary to protect the working class. Some commentators on the left, like Kyle Kulinski, criticize authoritarianism in abstract or historical forms, Stalin, Mao, or revolutionary communism, but they stop short of challenging the authority and violence of capitalism itself by framing leftist or revolutionary power as inherently authoritarian. They create a false equivalence between left and right while leaving the U.S. state, corporations, and imperialist machinery untouched. Their social democratic approach treats capitalism as a given, a system that cannot be fundamentally questioned. Even as they report on its consequences, millions dying from lack of health care, bombs dropped overseas, and essential resources held hostage for profit. They critique the symptoms, but they accept the disease. The obsession with avoiding authoritarianism at all costs is paralyzing. Many well-off social democratic commentators believe their critiques of politicians are far enough left, when in reality their caution serves the ruling class. They warn against decolonization or revolution because it's impractical or dangerous, ignoring the current system. It's already killing millions. Dual power, building independent working class institutions, is the practical application of Engels and Lenin's ideas today. Unions, mutual aid, tenant defense, and community organizations are the building blocks of a new society, defending oppressed communities from the fascism that is already embedded in the state. Revolutionary authority is not a threat to liberty, it is the protection of it. And to close, Engels' words remind us why anti-authoritarians misunderstand the reality of social change. A revolution is certainly the most authoritarian thing there is. It is the act whereby one part of the population imposes its will upon the other part by means of rifles, bayonets, and cannon. Authoritarian means, if such there be at all, and if the victorious party does not want to have fought in vain, it must maintain this rule by means of the terror which its arms inspire in the reactionists. Authority is not inherently bad. Its morality depends on who wields it, and for what purpose. In the U.S., where authority already serves the ruling class, leftist authority is the only force protecting the people. The question isn't whether authority exists. It always does. The question is whose authority shapes society, whose lives it protects, and whose interest it serves. Thank you for listening.